What are the most expensive diamonds of all time? How much can furniture be worth? And what artifact is valued at $1 trillion? All the answers are in this episode. This is Infinity, and today I'll show you the most expensive artifacts in history that will surprise you. Let's go.
Hello, I like money.
King Tut's Mask. The excavations of Howard Carter and George Carnarvon in 1922 revealed to the world not only the mummy of King Tut, but also many interesting artifacts. The main of them was the mask of the deceased pharaoh, which is now one of the most recognizable symbols of ancient Egypt. At the same time, it's one of the most valuable artifacts in history. The mask is estimated at about $2 million, although its true value is impossible to estimate. It's a piece of jewelry made of pure gold and weighing about 22 pounds. All the details of the mask, made with high precision, helped anthropologists to reconstruct the face of the pharaoh with a high degree of plausibility. Today, the mask is the main value of the Cairo Museum where it's exhibited. It was almost stolen during the revolutionary efforts of the Arab Spring in 2011, but today the Egyptians treat the mask very symbolic and honorable. They hope that, as in ancient times, Egypt will undergo significant transformations and reforms, and the country will once again become one of the superpowers in the modern world. The Harrington Commode. Strange as it may sound, but a commode may very well be an artifact, and even an entire relic, a very expensive and record-breaking one at that. At least that can be said about the Harrington Commode, which is one of the most valuable pieces of furniture in the world. Several years ago, the chest of drawers was a coveted item at auction, and eventually it went under the hammer for nearly $6 million. Such a high price is explained by the age of the chest of drawers. It's about 240 to 250 years old. In addition, it was made by the famous British designer Thomas Chippendale, and is believed that the name of the Chip and Dale cartoon is in reference to this master of furniture art. When making the Harrington Commode, he combined several styles and tried to make the piece of furniture as convenient and practical as possible. Previously, the chest of drawers was owned by the Harrington Earl family, not the last family in Britain, and this fact also explains the record-breaking price. Who knows, maybe the chest of drawers in your home will also become an expensive artifact one day.
Hello, I like money.
Napoleon's Saber. In 1800, in Italy, the Battle of Marengo took place, where the French fought against the Austrian Empire. Napoleon Bonaparte himself took part in the battle, and as historians say, this saber helped him in the battle. The French won the Battle of Marengo, the Austrian army was forced to surrender and leave Italy, and Napoleon himself gave the saber to his brother as a wedding gift after the battle. The saber, inlaid with gold Damascus steel, was kept in the Bonaparte family for several generations and preserved to the present day, eventually becoming one of the most precious and expensive artifacts of all time. In 2007, at auction, the saber was bought by a Corsican for $6.4 million. The saber is well preserved. On the one hand, it's great news for the new owner of the weapon and any collectors in general, but on the other hand, this means that it was practically not in use. Apparently, Napoleon didn't use it often in battles. Katerina Henkel's Tiara. The tiara, with 11 pear-shaped Colombian emeralds, a diamond pattern of flowers and leaves, and cushion-shaped green-yellow diamonds, is the most magnificent that's ever belonged to a non-royal person. It was owned by Katerina Henkel von Donnersmarck, the second wife of the German industrial magnate and nobleman Guido Henkel von Donnersmarck. Initially, there were not 11 diamonds but 25, and all of them were sold after the fall of the French Empire. At a later date, 11 of the diamonds were purchased by Guido Henkel von Donnersmarck. It's not known who exactly made the tiara. There's no distinguishing mark on it, which would make it possible to identify the name of the master. In 2011, the tiara was sold at auction to an anonymous buyer for $12.7 million.
Money!
The Codex Leicester. At first, it may seem that I'm talking about some important document with legal information, but in fact, it's not. The Codex Leicester is a notebook of scientific notes by Leonardo da Vinci, who compiled it at the beginning of the 16th century. As one of the artist's 30 scientific works, it's recognized as the most significant of all. Such a notebook is a full-fledged artifact and is highly valued and therefore should be expensive. It was bought for $30.8 million, and Bill Gates did it. The billionaire bought the Codex in 1994. He then scanned the Codex Leicester and made a Windows 95 screensaver out of some of the pages. There's also a digitized version of the book in the British Library. As for the codex itself, the records are all about various phenomena and sciences: hydrology, astronomy, and geology. The badminton cabinet. We have a name that might be confusing. In fact, this is not a cabinet where you can play badminton, but another unusual artifact, a monumental piece of furniture from the 18th century made of ebony. The artifact was named because until 1990, it was located in the British Gloucestershire, in the large Badminton country house. The tall and wide chest is inlaid with semi-precious stones of the Florentine mosaic technique, and it's also decorated with gilt bronze. The tiers of the cabinet feature drawers and a door made of cedar and various gemstones. Although this artifact is not of any particular historical value, it's very expensive. Twice, it became the most expensive piece of furniture sold at auction. In 1990, it was bought for $15.1 million. And in 2004, at the same auction, it was purchased by the current Prince of Liechtenstein, Hans Adam II, for $36.8 million. At the present time, the badminton cabinet is part of the art collection of the Princess of Liechtenstein. Surely, quite a few of my viewers live in houses that have attics. And if you live in an apartment, you must have a pantry. One day, I suggest you search there. Maybe you'll find something interesting or even valuable. That's exactly what happened to the protagonist of the following story. They found a 16-inch high painted vase, interesting and unusual, but they had no idea it was valuable. They were shocked when they learned that the vase had gone under the hammer for $86 million. This made it the most expensive porcelain product in the world. But why such a high price? As it turned out, it was a vase of the times of the Emperor Qianlong of the Qing dynasty, who ruled China in the 18th century AD. It was made on the order of the emperor himself, a very complex pattern, paintings, curly slits, double walls, and much more. Together, all this makes the vase not only one of the most complex, but also one of the most unique products of all time. Not surprisingly, when the rich found out about it, they put up a real fight at auction for the right to own this vase. But believe me, this isn't even close to the most valuable artifact on the planet. I'll show it to you later. But for now, let's move on to the top 3. The third place is taken by a diamond. These precious stones are worth a lot in general, but few diamonds can compete with the Hope Diamond. It's a large, deep, sapphire blue artifact weighing 45.5 carats. Hope Diamond is considered the most famous of the diamonds found in the New World, as well as the most expensive. It can cost anywhere from $250 million to $350 million. But far more interesting is the fact that the Hope Diamond is considered to be cursed. Many mysteries and legends shroud this artifact and say that all people who have ever worn the Hope Diamond have been haunted by something terrible. It's believed that it all started when the diamond was stolen from the temple of the Indian goddess Sita, after which a whole chain of tragedies started. Countless famous and not-so-renowned personalities have worn the diamond, all of whom have died under eerie or mystical circumstances. People have repeatedly tried to remove the curse of this mysterious artifact, but they did not succeed. In the end, it was decided not to wear the Hope Diamond. Since the middle of the 20th century, the artifact has been on display at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History in the United States. And since then, no one's died. As I said, only a handful of diamonds can compete with the Hope Diamond, and the Cullinan Diamond is certainly one of them. To be more precise, it simply beats the Hope Diamond in terms of value and size. This is the largest and most expensive gem-quality diamond in the world. It's difficult to estimate its exact value, but experts say it could be as much as $2 billion. The diamond was found in 1905 in South Africa. The diamond immediately struck everyone by its size because its mass was more than 3,100 carats. In 1907, the diamond was presented to King Edward VII of England, but the British decided that because of the too large size and the black inclusions of the stone, a bad diamond would turn out, and they decided to split it into several parts. The jewelers split the diamond and spent 2 years on cutting the pieces they found. In all, 2 huge, 7 big, and 96 small diamonds were made. At the moment, however, there are 9 pieces of Cullinan. The largest part, under the same name of Cullinan I, or the Great Star of Africa, decorates the scepter of Edward VII, which is used at the coronation of the new monarch of Britain. The second largest diamond, Cullinan II, also relates to royal regalia. It's in the British Imperial State Crown. But neither the Cullinan Diamond, nor the Hope Diamond, nor any other artifact at all compares to what many call the most expensive in all of history. It's believed to be the Imperial Seal of China, also known as the Hereditary Seal of the Realm. It's a jade seal carved from a solid disc of jade for China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. It's not known exactly how much the seal might be worth, but many people are certain that it's worth at least $1 trillion. Why then has no one ever become the first trillionaire? Because the seal is lost. The seal passed from dynasty to dynasty until the 10th century AD, after which evidence of its existence no longer appears. The current location of the seal is unknown, but it's known for sure that in the ancient times there was a real hunt for it. It was stolen, returned, and even exchanged for 15 cities because it was considered incredibly valuable. That's all, guys. Where do you think the most valuable artifact in history is located? Share your guesses in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.